Is this the end of Lil Durk as we know him? From chart-topping hits to the heart of a long legal battle, one of hip-hop's biggest stars now faces a battle that could change everything. What went wrong, and is this truly the end of Durk's career? In this video, we're breaking down the crazy story arc that propelled Lil Durk's rise, his recent controversies, and the shocking details that might just seal his fate. Stay tuned, because the truth behind Lil Durk's downfall is even wilder than you think. Lil Durk wasn't born into fame. He built his OTF empire from the ground up. Growing up on the gritty streets of Chicago, Durk Banks, better known as Lil Durk, faced challenges that many never escape. His music became a voice for the unheard, capturing the pain, struggle, and resilience of life in Chicago's toughest neighborhoods. By the early 2010s, Durk was on a meteoric rise, becoming one of the pioneers of the drill music movement and landing hits that spoke to millions. With every new track, Durk transformed from a local sensation into a national icon, collaborating with some of the biggest names in hip-hop. But fame came with a price. His journey has been shadowed by legal battles, tragic losses, and the challenge of leaving his past behind. At times, it's hard to tell if he's truly trying to escape his old life, or if he's proving he's still about that life, fame and all. And now, just as he seemed unstoppable, he's facing a crisis that could bring his career to a halt. How did Lil Durk evolve from the voice of a generation to one of hip-hop's most controversial figures? Well, let's dive into the wild twists of his story arc. For a moment, it seemed like Lil Durk had finally left the street life behind. Over the past few years, he appeared to be making a genuine effort to rewrite his story, channeling his focus into his craft and becoming a role model for young fans inspired by his music. He even cleared his legal record, a move that erased a history dating back to 2011 and freed him from the label of felon, a monumental milestone he wore with pride. But Durk didn't stop there. He took his reformed image to the next level by launching Neighborhood Heroes, a nonprofit aimed at curbing gun violence in Chicago. His journey of growth over recent years was inspiring, especially when he opened up about his struggles with addiction and his path to healing. By sharing his vulnerabilities, Durk showed fans a side that resonated deeply, reinforcing why many call him the voice of the trenches. His message was clear: no matter your past, there's a way forward, a better path. And for those who looked up to him, that message couldn't have been more powerful. Durk had big plans to give back to Chicago, including building a rehab center to help others facing addiction to Xanax and codeine, two substances that have unfortunately become a trend among today's youth. Despite these positive steps, some people were skeptical at Durk's motives. But when he announced he had fully converted to Islam, fans saw it as proof of this commitment to leaving the gang life behind. He publicly claimed he was starting a new chapter, cutting ties with anything illegal and distancing himself from his past. For those who have followed Durk since the early days, this was a massive shift. He'd gone from facing attempted murder charges with his late friend King Von to earning not one, but two keys to the city in recognition of his work to improve his community. It was a remarkable transformation, but could it have all been a facade? Rumors are now swirling that behind closed doors, Lil Durk might be a very different person than the reformed image he's presented to the public. Despite his claims of leaving the gang life, reports suggest that he is still influencing things behind the scenes. So, when news of his recent arrest on serious charges broke, it shocked fans who believed in his journey. The possibility of Durk's arrest has loomed for a while, especially after 4 OTF crew members were linked to the death of Quando Rondo's cousin, Lil Pop. Speculation started circulating that the feds might close in on the upper ranks of Durk's OTF crew, but no one expected the Grammy-nominated rapper himself to be the one identified as the ringleader. Federal investigators allege that several OTF members committed acts of extreme violence under Durk's orders as part of their loyalty to the crew. But the most shocking charge, they claim Durk orchestrated a murder-for-hire plot, offering a bounty for Quando Rondo himself, one of OTF's biggest rivals. Many fans know the tragic backstory here, but for those that don't, Quando Rondo's crew was responsible for the death of King Von, Durk's best friend, in a violent altercation outside an Atlanta hookah lounge. If these allegations are true, Durk may have been motivated by a desire for revenge, taking his loyalty to Von to extreme measures. According to the feds, Lil Durk's alleged involvement went beyond mere association. It's claimed he sent a message to the three-man team he supposedly hired for the hit, cautioning them not to book any flights under names that could be traced back to him. But in a costly misstep, they used the record label's credit card to cover the travel expenses, directly linking Durk to the mission. On arrival in California, OTF members Didi, Vonnie, and 072 Boogie reportedly connected with Grant, a high-ranking associate who provided everything needed for the job, from rented cars and weapons to insider information. The crew allegedly tailed Quando Rondo's team until they had him cornered at a gas station, and in the ensuing gunfire, Rondo's cousin Lil Pob was shot and pronounced dead on the scene. Have you ever wondered what was one of Durk's biggest alleged mistakes that made him a prime target of the feds? Well, it's sampling the sound of Quando Rondo's scream from the crime scene in his song Same Side with Rob 49. Despite the clean-cut image Durk has tried to portray in recent years, the investigation suggests a different reality. Federal documents allege that the crew returned to Chicago less than 24 hours after the incident in a quick exit that raised further suspicions. With the arrest of several OTF members, rumors emerged that Durk had tried to book flights to Dubai and Switzerland to escape, though authorities apprehended him before he could make his move. So, how exactly did the feds connect Durk to such a high-stakes conspiracy? Allegedly, the investigation into OTF's activities had been underway for quite some time, with whispers of an informant embedded in the group. Reportedly, voice recordings and intel from this insider helped build the case, offering clues that piece together the larger puzzle. For many fans, it's shocking to imagine that Lil Durk might be involved in something so serious, especially given his recent new chapter claims. But those who have kept a close watch must have realized that this self-acclaimed transformation was at least in part just a facade. It's hard to wrap your head around why Durk would risk everything he's worked for just to get involved in King Von's beef. At a time when his career was finally reaching new heights, it seems irrational to dive back into street feuds. Many believe he caved under pressure from bloggers pushing the narrative that he needed to slide for Von. Instead of ignoring the noise, Durk apparently felt compelled to prove his loyalty, but at what cost? The hip-hop community, including big-name rappers like The Game, urged him to channel his grief positively, to slide for Von by succeeding in his career, not through revenge. Yet, despite all the wisdom from industry veterans, Durk's response to the trolling only seemed to entangle him deeper. Durk's own words have fueled the controversy. He's hinted at involvement in Lil Pob's death on multiple occasions, which could become damning evidence in a federal trial. A prime example is his use of Quando Rondo's screams from the crime scene, a move that feels chillingly bold. His verse on Nardo Wick's track Who Wants the Smoke raised even more eyebrows, with lyrics that seemed like thinly veiled confessions. Quote, "They be on my page saying slide for Von. I know they're trolling me. Got it back in blood. Y'all just don't know that's how it's supposed to be." End quote. The message didn't stop there though. Durk's verse gets even more explicit as he continues, quote, "Better do what Nardo said cause people die for pumping gas." This is a line that many took as a direct reference to the gas station where Lil Pob was killed. If Durk had no involvement, why drop lines that allude to such a high-profile incident? While he might have thought these lyrics were a show of strength, they could very well become his undoing, with the feds now watching very closely. It's really telling that Durk never sought clout by openly mocking Quando Rondo's loss. His restraint speaks volumes and serves as proof that these alleged moves were completely out of character. He kept his lines in the murky space between reality and fiction, a common technique in the rap game that might just work in his favor now. Despite the fallout from Lil Pob's death, Durk stayed committed to renouncing violence, presenting himself as a role model for fans who looked up to him. But behind the scenes, the streets still had a hold on him, whether he was ready to let go or not. One thing that has remained consistent is Durk's deep-rooted disdain for rats, as he's often made clear. Ironically, while Durk prided himself on spotting disloyalty, it seems the feds had an even sharper eye. Allegedly, they managed to plant informants within OTF, and perhaps most shockingly, they turned OTF Jam, someone Durk had trusted since the beginning. OTF Jam's alleged betrayal, wearing a wire that broke the case wide open, left many doubting Durk's chances of escaping conviction. Their bond ran deep. Durk welcomed Jam back from a 12-year sentence, offering him cash, a car, and a place to stay. For someone that close to betray him, it's a harsh reminder that loyalty can be fleeting in the streets. For Durk, the news that his trusted friend turned on him feels like a painful twist of fate he had often warned about in his music. In his song Federal Nightmares, Durk reflects on the grim reality of betrayal, rapping, quote, "Delete my iCloud if I think they're on me. When the trial comes, it ain't on your phone, it's your homie though. He is on the stand with his head down like he doesn't know me though. It ain't no point getting a lawyer if your homie told." Looks like a homie told after all. These lines now carry a haunting feeling, showing just how real his lyrics may have been all along. In the end, it seems that at least one close friend, or perhaps several, turned against Durk, leaving him facing a potential life sentence or even the death penalty under Florida law. This shocking turn of events has divided fans on social media. Some argue that Durk fell victim to betrayal by those he trusted like family. Others believe that if he had truly left the street life behind, he wouldn't be in such a dire situation right now. It wasn't just the game who cautioned Durk against retaliating against Rondo's crew. Even King Von's brother, who knew Durk since childhood, urged him to focus on his success and keep names out of his lyrics. While it's clear that Durk did try to take steps toward a new life, it seems the street code remained a part of him, a piece of his past that he could never fully let go. And now he's facing the harsh consequences. Some feel that Durk has to lie on the bed he made, but situations like these aren't always black and white. With so much still unfolding, only time will tell what fate awaits him. This story is developing fast, so if you want to stay in the loop, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for updates. What's your take on Lil Durk's situation? Do you believe he actually called for that bounty, or was he being set up? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.